DBB welcoming on quite a well-regarded individual for the very first time, the one championship reigning strawweight world titleist. I'm talking to Joshua Pacio. How's your day going so far there, man? I mean, it seems like it's just getting started based on what you were saying before the interview, but so far so good.
Yeah, so far so good. Just woke up, training again later, as usual.
Yeah, so it's curious because it's been obviously a little bit at this point since you've been able to get out to the one circle and compete. So you've been able to pretty consistently train and adapt all throughout this because I've talked to certain fighters who have had certain, I guess, issues or hurdles to overcome with training amid the pandemic. Has everything been largely smooth for you though?
Yeah, but last year it's very hard. You know, you find ways on how to train because every areas here in Baguio is locked down. So yeah, um, some of us get passes to go to the gym to train last year, but on the mid September or October, it's getting yeah, it's getting good. The situation's getting great. We we can go to the gym, and this year we can all now go to the gym and train. And yeah, this last year is very hard, but now it's all smooth.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear things have, settled in a bit there and everything, man. But I was seeing a bio of yours that was saying you were inspired to take up martial arts when you were 12 years old. I'm kind of wondering, like, was there like a distinct visual you remember? Like, was there an epiphany moment where you're like, oh my God, I gotta check this out? Because it seemed like you got really entrenched in the wushu tournaments. But was there like a distinct moment that inspired you to take up martial arts, or how did that come about?
Uh, when I started martial arts, it's like I just want it for fitness. Because I was fat, I just want to get fit. So I started Muay Thai just for fitness. But when I get fit, I tried competing, and from that moment, even though I lost a lot of my amateur competition. I still enjoy it. Still get back to training even though I lost. And yeah, that's the time I realized that I enjoy doing martial arts, and that's the time I realized that I need to pursue this.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the point you want to be having those losses, though, in the amateur ranks, more where you're workshopping things and learning. Like, how important was that amateur sort of experience to, like, having a smooth transition to becoming a pro fighter?
Um, you know, for me, these experiences are very good. Especially when you experience a lot of loss in your amateur competitions, and you already know how to deal with losses. And if you turn pro, if you experience loss, you know how to deal with it. Not like if you are undefeated in your amateur career and you experience loss in your professional career, it's very hard to deal. But that's what the one thing that I'm thankful experiences losses in my amateur career, and I know how to deal with it already.
Yeah, because it even seemed like it provided some utility to like your professional efforts. Like you haven't lost a great deal of times, but the few instances that that's happened, you've pretty soon after rectified it. There, like when you captured the strawweight gold, lost it, and then quickly thereafter snared it back up. So it seems like you really learned a lot from those experiences.
Yeah, if in this when I turned pro, if I experience loss, I'm not. Can you day down ka? I'm not that disappointed, and my mindset is, what's my weaknesses? I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to, assess what went wrong, and That's what my mindset is. So that's why if when the rematch happens with Naito, I won, and when the rematch happens with Saruta, I won. That's why learning learning from your mistakes is the very important thing when you lost.
Yeah, definitely well said there, man. But you talk about like looking at facets of your game that you would like to improve on a fight to fight basis. I imagine it's super helpful to have, such a tight band of teammates there with Team Lakay, not only high level champion caliber martial artists, but people that you seem to have like a really friendly kind of connectivity with. Like how cool is it to be working with, such high level fighters, but to have that, strong like friendship kind of dynamic within the group too.
No, for me, I'm very privileged that I have my teammates. Not only teammates, because for me, already this is a family. We motivate each other, and we are there with each other ups and downs. And yeah, we work on our skills, improving 1% every day. And that's the goal, to be a well-rounded athlete, because as you can see in my division, it's very stuck already. There's Bokang Masunyani, Saruta, they're already leveling up. That's why my job also is to level up, and I'm very privileged that I have my teammates, my coaches here helping me to level up my game.
Yeah, just an amazing group over there. But you talk about the division filling out more and just like a really fun weight category to watch. And I mentioned at the top that it's been a little bit since you've gotten out there to the one circle. I'm kind of curious, like, what have been the biggest hurdles in the way of competing under the one championship banner for the last little bit? Has it been travel related issues with the pandemic, or like what would you cite as the main reason as to why we haven't seen you in the one circle for a little while?
Yeah, I think it's the pandemic issues, and I think this moment you need to have really vaccinated before you can travel. So that's the one thing that one problem. And since last year, I supposedly I have a fight last year November, but I get injured in my knee. That's why, and of course the pandemic traveling, it's very hard. But yeah, training continues. I still spar 5 rounds. The the feeling when you go out there and fight, you need to feel it on training so that you will not experience what they call the ring rust.
Yeah, super important for sure, man. But I've alluded to the last fight a couple times, but I wanted to get the specific thoughts on how you thought the story of that last Alex Silva fight unfolded there and everything like that. And just with it being a split decision and everything like that, like, were you nervous when the scorecards were getting read, or were you confident that you had put in enough work where the nod was eventually going to go to you there?
For me, I'm confident that put everything there. Work so hard, and I think every round I won. And but when they said that it's split decision, I was a little bit nervous. you know, because when you put it in the judges' scorecards, it's very hard. I didn't get the finish, but my coaches, my teammates in the ringside said that I won. So yeah, I'm confident that my hand will be raised in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had thought the same too. I mean, just a great fight all around, but I'd kind of given you the nod once things had wrapped up there. I'm kind of curious though, because a bit ago you were talking about just how deep the division is. Like, are you looking at a certain opponent when you get back here? I mean, you have Yosuke Saruta positioned as the number one contender in the category, and obviously you've got the history entrenched with him, being that you'd be going towards that trilogy fight. Is that the ideal return to the one championship fold you would like, going for that rubber match?
Yeah, I think we have unfinished business. It's all one, and he's the number one ranked in my division, and I think he deserves to fight me again. So, yeah, I think when I get back inside the circle, he's my opponent for sure.
Yeah, just an incredible fight because like you guys obviously got out there and tested skills with one another on a couple occasions. So this third fight will be very interesting because presumably both of you have picked up on certain tells, but also you're adding the new wrinkles to your game too. So a very exciting kind of dynamic. I imagine the excitement is even greater for you being that you're at the center of it.
Yeah, this trilogy happens. We know each other well. We fought two times, and I think the guy who will mix things up, the guy who improves a lot in every aspect of his game, will win the bout.
Yeah, definitely one I'm chomping at the bit for. So hopefully things can get a little more casual with, traveling and stuff like that. But we've been talking a bit ago about, Team Lakay and getting into great work there and just the world champions that have already established themselves from that camp. But certain rising stars with the camp too. I mean, you have Jahan Lowe, Mark Sangyao, who's obviously the son of, your legendary coach there. Like, can you talk about him and his signing with one championship? Like what people can maybe expect from him when he steps out there?
No. John Lu is a different breed, and you can see when he enters the circle. I'm very excited for him and for his new career, and expect a new breed of Team Lakay athlete when you see him. I think everybody says that he is young, but he's not new to this game, and he's young and very well rounded athlete. I know that because um, we train with him every day, and we know his capabilities.
Yeah, and it seemed kind of similar to your upbringing in the sport in a certain regard, and as far as like, getting the experience on some of the Team Lakay shows early on and then transitioning to one thereafter. Like, do you see certain similarities in that kind of regard there?
Sorry again.
No, I was just saying it seems like a similar kind of growth pattern that you had in as far as like the Team Lakay shows early on, fighting there and then transitioning over to one.
Yeah, he fought a lot of amateur competitions here. Not just MMA, but he fought kickboxing, wushu, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. He's very active, and also, of course, he fought MMA, pro amateur, and I think we watch him grow from time to time, and we know that he is ready. He's ready for a big league.
Yeah, it'll certainly be an intriguing, career to follow along with as he enters the one ranks and everything like that. But I just love how much, respect you have for, the Philippines and the fighters around from where you're at. Like I was seeing some other interviews where it almost seemed like you were uncomfortable with the characterization of you being this new face of Filipino MMA. It's like, oh, come on, guys, like we're gonna be, getting some people back in the title picture here a little bit. So I really love the, I guess, appreciation for, the Philippines and everything like that. Like, do you really feel that support when you get out there and compete in the one circle? Like, does it really, I guess, just galvanize your efforts even further getting out there in the one circle, knowing so many people are supporting you?
Yeah, no, especially when I fight here in Philippines, when I walk, go into the circle, it's the energy is different. When you hear the Filipino crowd, it's the feeling is unexplainable, and not just here in the Philippines. When I fought in Thailand, you can see many Filipinos. I fought in Macau. You can hear many Filipinos when I walk going through that circle, and it's very heartwarming to see the support of the Filipinos.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. It's such an enjoyable thing for you because it seems like that's a very important thing for you. So I'd wanted to get your thoughts on that. That must be a very cool feeling. But you've been in the one championship fold for a decent while now, like debuted with them April 2016, and just a lot of mutual growth. Like obviously the promotion's visibility has increased, but you've grown in your own skills as a martial artist. Can you talk about that mutual growth, just yourself as a fighter, but also one as a promotion overall?
Um, if I can see the one championship, expanding, growing. For me, I'm more motivated to improve myself, not just in MMA, but of course, on how, on how in my life also, not just in martial arts, to improve. And of course, if they're expanding in US especially, we need to level up, not just in martial arts, but also all aspects of lives.
That's interesting. So you're, I guess, maybe looking in the future at competing in America at some point there. Like, does that hold any level of interest for you, or do you
Yeah,
just mean
I,
like, yeah,
I would love to. I would love to, man.
yeah, well, that'd be really interesting. I think the one product is something that the American fans can resonate with, and there's definitely been efforts already with like the TNT shows recently and
Yep.
things of that nature. So it seems like they're looking to make that move for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think. I wish I could fight by the end of this year, and if there gonna be a US event again, I would love to join that.
Yeah, for sure. And just a bit earlier, you were talking about how even like last year there were certain plans to get you to fight in November, but the injury popped up. Is there any kind of specific timeline you're looking at for this year competing? Like you're talking about wanting to get out there again, but do you have like a certain like month or season, even anything of the sort?
Um, yeah, for me, I would love to fight in August or September, and not just me, but also, you know, even Danny King, and he has no fights for more than a year now.
Yeah, true.
So I would love to, me, Danny, Kuya Kevin, and even Stephen Loman. Um, I would love to fight beside those guys.
Yeah, I mean that would be incredible. Like how much motivation do you get on cards where you have like your other teammates fighting on and then they get the victory, and like I imagine that would add some level of momentum to your own individual
Yeah.
performance.
Yeah, I think the feeling is very different, when you fight alongside your brothers. And there's this time that we like I think five Team Lakay in one card. So the feeling is amazing, and of course we all got the win, and that's the most important thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you've been really great with your time. I'm, appreciative of getting to talk to you and get some insights from you. Great getting to have you on the show for the first time, hopefully the first of many, but just in the interest of being mindful of the rest of your schedule today, is there maybe anything you'd like to add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping things up here, Joshua?
um Thank you, sir, for inviting me here. It's a privilege. And of course, I thank you to all our supporters who's been there, supports and prays for us in our ups and downs. Thank you very much. And of course, um, man, I forgot to. Hindi abangan. Um, don't miss out our future. Our future fights. Maybe this by the end of this year. Don't miss it. I'll be back soon.
Well, definitely a very encouraging message and something that I'll be keenly keeping my eye on, seeing the specifics for when that, one championship strawweight title defense information pops up. But again, to reiterate, really appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was a fun conversation. You enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, you have a good one.